Okay, now we're up.
Yes, indeed, we are.
Painful. All right. Get all the pro players weighing in. Out a little bit, just give me a second, and then I'll get started dumping counters into spots that'll make it easy for you to be successful with your offense.
So one thing you want to notice is there's in A4824, A is the northernmost map. A4824, which I think is Tunis, and 4722, those units are actually within 1 hex. Now,
right.
I think there's probably a little bit of value in the units in 4722 being placed on the other side of that river in 4621 as well. You might want to put something there.
All right. Sorry, you referring to? Sorry, you said this stack here.
Depien, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
No, Tunis. You may want to do that with Tunis too. You might want to throw something on that airfield.
Oh, here we go. This stack
yeah,
here.
Yes. That stack is set up within 1 hex of that hex. So you might want, and it even says that actually. It's just really hard to see. I didn't notice that till I just looked at it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Let me just close these browsers up.
So I'm talking about that hex. You might want to put a unit in that hex.
Okay.
If it's not a good unit.
Okay, let's see. So, they're my guys. These are your guys.
Hey, folks, welcome aboard. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, look at them jumping in. All right. Hey, guys. Hey, everybody.
You also have your air units to set up.
Oh, great.
All which are in the Axis setup offboard box card. Don't forget the air units. Hilariously, we're playing Beyond the Rhine, and at some point we decided this is this fiasco. We're going to reset it. So we reset it, except that we forgot to double check all the air units coming back in. So we're like scratching our heads as the allies. Where's all our air? I thought we had more air than this. We left like half the shot down air in a counter tray.
Oh, no.
Didn't set it all back up. We screwed the whole game up.
Okay. Offboard boxes is only showing me reserve markers. Which one was it?
This is the Axis setup offboard box.
Setup. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then we got the surge guys as well. All right. Well, this is going to be funny, guys. Okay, within 1. Let me just get this stuff squared away here.
You got all that South Meredith line stuff too.
Yeah. Let's move this guy forward 1. There's 2 air bases there. Okay, mute my phone.
And that's a lot of stuff. Granted, a lot of it's Italian.
Yeah. All right. Oh, now all these, let me just go north to south. So let me A quick look here. Within one, artillery. Can start with guys in reserve, I assume.
You can, unless there's this game-specific rule that prevents it, and there isn't. You can also start in either move or combat mode, but you're going second, so it is probably advisable to keep everybody in combat mode.
Oh, so you're not going to let me have
they're in reserve.
You're not going to let me have the uber duper Kasserine assault. I'm just teasing.
Well, that's the scenario. Just blame Dean for that.
Well, so I think the way they were wording it in this module, from what I was reading, was that they make the Americans go first because otherwise it ends up a bloodbath with the Germans attacking or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's see. 1x. They're your guys. No, they're my guys. They're my guys. No, these are your guys, right? These ones?
Which guys? Guys in 3926?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are mine.
Okay. I guess this module doesn't have locking on the.
I guess not.
On the opponent. Yeah, that's okay. All right. Dang. Well, let's flip this dude. And here's my wife, just as I suspected. All right. Give me a second here.
All right. So while Kev is dealing with his stuff, I'm just going to talk briefly through the TEC, which I will keep up more or less constantly throughout the throughout the play. Open terrain is 1 movement point per hex. Salt marsh, which is presumably on here somewhere, is prohibited for track and truck, 2 for leg.
Yeah, I'm back, by the way. Just
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Not a problem.
Okay.
I'm just looking through the TEC because these can be slightly different depending on the specific game we're looking at.
Yeah. Fifth army is yours, so I don't have to worry about that. So that can go over there. That's yours. That's yours. These guys. These reserve markers. I'm going to keep all my reserve markers on the board if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
If I don't forget them. And then I'll put some air down in a minute. Just let me finish placing units. Maroc, French, are they mine or yours? They're yours.
Moroccans should be mine, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, 10th Panzer. Within 1. So, okay. Where is the flip? How do I flip?
Should be able to right click.
Move mode. There it is. I see. I was looking for flip. So that's okay. And put this guy. All right. I think that's everything there. Now, El Qatar. Italian. Look at those bad boys. Look at those hefty 3 action ratings. How exciting!
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of the Americans are actually AR2. Actually, not all of them, but a lot of them are AR2.
Let's go green Marines. I know they're not Marines, but green boys. 15th Panzer. Let's move all of the Italians up to here. Like so.
I was thinking that specific hex might be overstacked if you had left it all there, but I don't think you will.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that. Don't worry.
I didn't count it up, so maybe not, but it might have been.
Yeah, you're referring to the Italians that I'm moving right now.
You're at El Guitar. Yeah, that's the hex I'm talking about.
Yeah. Shoot. All right. Well, you might as well just put the whole freaking. If I'm in reserve mode and come out of reserve mode, I cannot change move mode, or I can change move mode, then pay, correct?
Not during reaction, no.
Not during reaction.
Not change mode in the reaction phase.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So if you want them to be in move mode, you got to put them in there now until your movement phase.
Yep. Let's just have one guy in move mode. Then these will be.
If you're a limitless supply of reserve markers.
Yeah, that's certainly a handful of them. And oh, look at that. This guy on top of that guy. And these are spare. Now, oh, more guys down here. Bugger. All right, 21st Panzer. You know, it's so funny. I'm playing a battle for Normandy right now, and it's all the same units. So it's pretty, 21st Panzer and 12th SS, and
those are very large formations at that particular time, measured in battalions, especially.
Yeah, let's just see where. Let's zoom out a little bit and see where you're at up there. I'm gonna squeak this dude into here. Move these guys forward. Now, no doing mean things like running around on my guys and attacking my artillery and being a dick. Okay.
What I might do is barrage your guys in reserve mode, thereby knocking them out of reserve mode.
That's always a charming thing to do. Okay, there's nothing to set up down south.
Yes, there is. It's on the Axis setup card. Those South Meredith line hex units. There's quite a bit there.
So all these units, they all have to go on the card on
the South Meredith line. Yeah, that's 50-10. That little line of entrenchments right there.
Okay, and it's this at the 18th. LE, the light, the 164th light,
90th light, CGFF, whatever that is, Trieste, Pistoria, and La Spezia, I think.
Oh, these must be in the setup. Hang on.
Yeah, it's on the setup card.
It's off box. Okay.
It's right below the air.
Yeah, I'm looking. Hang on. Just whoops. Oh, look at you. Jeez, just when I thought I was done. All right, South line.
Some AR4 Italians in there, too.
Pavia, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, they're not Pavia. That's the Bersaglieri, whatever they're called.
Well, some guys in Trieste. Looks like the Trieste Recon Battalion is AR4. Yeah, actually, whatever CGFF, is that GGFF? I don't know what that even means.
Yeah.
But one of those, the Bersaglieri unit from there is 4 AR as well.
Wow, these guys suck. Otherwise. Oy vey.
So this are actually split. 90th Light goes in. 90th Light, that infantry regiment, La Spezia are on the southern one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of those loose units are in the northern ones. Okay.
And
you got it.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping, because that's what I've done. All right. Now, I've got to fit all this crap in here. Seriously? We'll have a chance to move this around, because I don't think you have anything coming on the board in the immediate short term. So,
well, actually,
I thought it was. Doesn't Monty have to roll to arrive?
Well, that does. That has to roll to 8th Army has to come roll to activate. But I think we're in February.
You get some guys trickling in early or something?
February 15th. I'm just looking at the order of arrival. Yeah, and actually, yeah. U.S. 9th Infantry Division shows up this turn.
Down south? I'm talking about the south front.
Oh, I don't. No, that would not be them. That would not be where they show up.
Didn't think so. All right, so that can go here. These guys can go here. All right. And this joker can go. These guys here. All right. Yeah. I'm probably going to reread the. Now, what the inactive counters?
Those come in as inactive. Those are all your transports. You probably want to put them all in Sicily anyway.
Yeah.
Because they are going to be tied up flying supply in.
Right. Sicily map. Sicily is here. Whoops. And how many air units in an airstrip? Is it 2?
You could put any number in, but you can only refit 1 per level of the airbase. So you generally want to keep it to, if it's a level 1 airbase, and I think you have level 1s and level 2s. If it's level 1, you put 2 units in. If it's level 2, you probably want you can put 4 in. You want to make sure that you have fighter coverage, though. And if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look at the rule on this. Refit is probably halved in mud weather. But weather's probably set on this first turn, I would think.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's some really crappy units here. All right. Why is it not an airbase there? All right. Oh, I can put this up here. That's a 2 there, right? No, it's a 1. All right, what's Tripoli? Sorry, Tunis. That is a 2. That's a 1. 2, 3. Yeah.
Threw down 47th Infantry Regiment in its entry area. Although they could show up in Tripoli or Algiers too, but there's no use for that.
Okay. All right. I think I'm nearly done. I was going to find somewhere to put these freaking Italians. There's airbase down here. God, these heads in the airbase. There we go.
If you got an air base up at Bizerte, which you probably want to cover with fighters.
Yeah, I got 3 up there right now. I think I might just dump the rest of these guys in there.
Yeah, same with Tunis. You got guys covering that.
I'm looking for any other little spots that might be useful. All right, I think that's it, man. I've got now the surge stuff again. There's something I read those rules briefly, but I guess I will reread them while you set your stuff up. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so let's see what we can do here. The Allies have substantially less to set up than the Germans do.
Let's see what everybody's saying here. Well, John Lennon is here. I thought he was dead. Well, welcome everybody. We've got 20 folks in. Hey, John. Well, look at all these people. Hey, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen. Good. All right. Not drinking anything. I'm drinking green goodness. That's what I'm drinking. It's green.
I had a little bit of bourbon, but I finished it already.
Never drink when you're playing OCS, man. It's too serious.
I had a very small amount.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
So we got to stay focused.
Yeah, I will probably have a drink at some point. We'll see. Depends how badly you start spanking me on the first time. All right. I think I'm gonna take us off screen, and then we can maximize the view for everybody.
And nobody wants to look at my ugly mug anyway.
Yeah. Ditto. Hey, Todd, how are you doing? Good to see you, man. Got my rule book. I'm all squared away here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm all good. I'm so nervous playing against like a pro player.
Oh, let's get real now. Let's see. But
these search guys do come on to the map. Hopefully
those guys flying. Not that that's going to come up this turn. Well, it can't. It could come up this turn for you. Those guys flying in from Sicily, the distance is short enough that they can do it twice.
Right. So it's a 2T turnaround, right? And they'll end up back in Sicily, or do they end up in the base?
They can go wherever you want as long as you're not exceeding that total air allowance. So when you come in, say you're flying it into Tunis, there's that AAP point on the map right off of Tunis.
Yeah.
So you're spending 37 movement to get them to that point.
Right.
And their movement's like 100 and something. So they can easily fly it twice, and then you could rebase them on land if you want. But the transports, you really want to just keep it Sicily. You want to just rebase them right back to Sicily. But you can fly anything you want out of there.
Right. Now, no, I understood I could fly where I wanted to, but I was thinking the way, for instance, in some games when you do this shuttling and you're able to get the 2T into you're flying in like you're talking about. Sometimes you don't have enough movement points, and they end up stuck at the base. So I'm just curious. I'm just curious about the cost here. I hadn't looked at that yet for the shuttling of SP in. So I was just curious about the count. So 166. So that's 38, 39. It's 40. So twice is 80. So they'll be able to go there and back twice without any problems at all. Okay. Cool. Oh, I'm going to open up my little OCS app. Oh, that's not it. Do you have this little app?
Actually, I've never looked. I'm aware that it exists. I have never really looked at it.
Yeah. I never use it unless I'm playing on Vassal. It's just handy. We'll leave that to one side and use it if we need it. Oh, probably covering up your stuff. That's why I have to make sure you don't cheat me on the odds.
If I was cheating, I am positive I would end up doing better. I have absolutely atrocious dice.
That's why I opened up my calculator app. I'm all ready to cheat. Let me get this Bluetooth headset sorted out. It used to work. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, there's a crap ton of air off map already, actually.
Yeah, look at that bad boy. Hey, John Connor, good to see you, and John Longshore. Is it just me, or maybe it's because they don't have the shiny finish on this particular module on the maps? But the map looked more, I guess, palatable to the eye than the first edition. Or is it just me?
No, that the map's cleaned up from the original one. All right, so that's done. All right, so we are ready to go. Does the scenario set the weather the first turn? It usually does.
Let's see. I don't see it saying that in here.
Roll for weather on every turn, including the first turn of a scenario.
There you go.
All right, so since we know I have the initiative, I'm going to roll for weather. This is a D6, what we call a D66 in Traveler.
Yep.
So it's 2D6, 10s and 1s. So that's a 13. So we have full flight right now. And there's a marker for that. Wait a minute. Nope, yeah, it's February. It's 11 to 55 is full flight. All right. First player determination, which is determined aircraft. So let me check the scenario again on this, because a bunch of allied air starts inactive, or
Right.
the surge stuff is just inactive right now, but there's other stuff that started inactive, and it does make a difference because I put it in Algiers.
Yeah, we'd be curious why it starts inactive. It's in Algiers anyway, so you've got a bottomless pit for supply, so it's going to be automatically active once you start your.
Well, I mean, in theory, not necessarily, but in fact, yes. In this case, they would just they should just go to inactive unless I'm missing something, which is possible. Let me just check something. I'm not seeing anything that says they start inactive, but I mean your stuff starts in. You have stuff that starts inactive too, right? But you're going to put it in Sicily, so it's going to refit for free up to the limit on that airbase.
Yep.
The surge stuff starts and stays inactive in this case. So I'm going to remove the move flags.
Yep. I'm good with
And
that.
we'll flip those to active during aircraft refit. And let's check Tunis as well, because there's a whole pile of stuff down there, but none of it's inactive. All right. So next, we have the reinforcement phase. I have already placed my reinforcement. That is a regiment of the 9th Infantry Division that's coming in Area A. He can go there, actually, so let's do that.
Right.
Him.
We're going to roll for...
put him on the road. Yeah, we got to roll for Monty right now.
Yeah.
All right, so 1d6. 2. Monty fails to advance. On a 5 or 6, it is released. And once it is released, then some supply comes in to support it as well.
Right.
All right, so in that case, we are into the movement phase.
Don't you roll for your variables as well? That happens.
Roll for replacements. I'm not rolling for supply, which is something I would.
No, I mean variable replacements.
Yeah.
I think that's the term they use.
Okay, it's interesting. Okay, so 2d6. That's a fat 4. That's typical for me. That is none. So we have 1 C cap and 3 rail cap. The rail cap can only be used in Algeria, I think it is. Yeah. So it's not of necessarily an enormous use, but we will C cap in. So we're going to get... one huge supply point. Which will come in here. And then we cannot now rail that supply point somewhere else.
Sure. Yep.
There are some starting allied replacements that start in Algiers, but not a ton. It's like a Paxton equipment, so it's not that much. All right, so movement. So we need to decide what we're doing here. Let's take it from the top. I like the idea of keeping these French guys in the back as garrisons for the most part. Although they're not necessarily bad.
You talk about the guys up in Tabarka?
Yes.
Yep. Sure is a windy, hilly set of terrain.
It sure is. And what a lot of these forces have to be aware of, in particular, the Americans especially, is getting cut off from the back.
Right.
It's not very difficult for the Germans to do that.
Wow, you're expecting me to be wily. I'll just be looking to roll dice and smack around a few little the 3-rated Americans. That's all I want to do.
All right, so now this is not super important for what we're doing here today. However, when I put reserve markers out, whenever possible, I make sure there's another non-reserve marker on top of it so that the other guy can't see where my reserve markers are. Same with HQs and extenders. You probably already know that, though.
Yeah, no, actually, I hadn't thought. Well, because I've only played mostly solo, so I hadn't thought of the ability to hide your reserves. That's smart. Okay, that's good. That's a good tactic. That is a good trail tip. There we go.
I hide everything. I hide HQs. I hide extenders. I hide trucks. I hide rail units, rail repair units. That doesn't factor in here, but on the East Front, it's a huge deal in most of those games. So I hide all that important stuff. I hide anything that's in strat mode. Doesn't matter if it actually gets hit, but if they don't know the other guy doesn't know it's there, then he might not be able to hit it.
Right. And that's a legal technique.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you're only allowed to examine top combat unit.
All right.
All right, now what do airstrips do? Because that is not something that's been in most of the games that I've played.
Yeah, they can. You can use, as you said, one aircraft, but you get or maybe it's one of us gets 3 of them that they can place, and one has to be. I think one is mobile.
Well, there's an airstrip down here in Phillips Day.
Where are you?
Looking at 2832 at the moment.
2832.
Airstrips are used on a modified basis. Each site has just 3. One of them can be placed with a special result. No engineers needed. This is OCS 15.2. This is not something that comes up very often.
Yeah, it's the ones with the flags on them, I think, is
I just want to make sure you can base an air unit there. And if so, how many? Yep, you can. Well, you can refit one, which is fine. I just rebased this French. Actually, that's dumb. Let's put him right back. Put this Spitfire there instead.
Have you played this much?
Sicily 2? No, I've never played it before, actually.
No, so I mean Tunisia too.
No. Oh, I'm sorry, I said Sicily. No, I've never played this, actually.
Okay. Played the original, though, right?
No.
No? Oh, cool. Okay. Well, then we're both really getting our first shot at it. I only played a handful of turns of the original one, and not this scenario either.
Doing so. Let me explain what I'm doing here. So this doesn't look.
Try a hip shoot or something.
No, I can't hip shoot. Only Germans can hip shoot in this. In 2202, there's 2 tokens of supply. I burned 1 SP to fuel stuff in the HQ that's in that area. So we're going to take 2 SPs. I already took it out of Tabessa. I'm going to put this, I'm going to actually split it and burn the 2 tokens off the ground and then put the 2 tokens back, put the extra 2 tokens back in the city. So I spent basically 2 tokens out of the city and 2 tokens from the ground to place that fuel marker.
Okay. Cool.
We're going to have to move this guy. Whoa. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. This guy's tracked primary road is 1/2. Okay.
And you know that the British, the Desert Air Force, can do hip shoots, right? Just not the Americans.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I haven't even gotten to the British yet. Oh, cool.
Looks like my texting is not going through my commenting. Oh, well, it's telling me I'm having connection issues. That's weird.
On YouTube?
No, on the on the chat in StreamYard, I keep having trouble connecting. But you carry on. There we go. Now
Okay.
hey, Devin, how you doing there? And Patchwork Pitches. There are multiple scenarios in the game. There are 2 campaigns and a handful of other scenarios, some of which are one map. All right, so you're moving south.
Well, at least some Americans are moving south. Can't really move through this this mountain terrain, though. Unfortunately, you're pretty much stuck on the roads.
Yep.
Oh, let's check that. I would assume that
What you looking for?
whether international cooperation. No, they can't. So, trying to see if the Americans can trace to a French HQ or vice versa.
Let's see if we can supply reinforcements.
It ought to be in 1.12.
Yeah, cooperation. .1 refers to access and allied cooperation issues. 4.1 variant. Air missions, combat and barrage, HQs, and attachments. What are you looking for specifically? Page 5.
So in general HQs, 4.1c. In general, HQs can supply and rebuild units without regard to faction, but for the allies there are important exceptions. American and French HQs cannot be used to supply and rebuild Commonwealth units. And Commonwealth units cannot be used to supply or rebuild American and French units. That makes perfect sense.
Yep, vice versa. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to step away from the screen for a minute.
You certainly feel free. I am not hugely close to being done. This first turn, honestly, the first turn is always the longest in these things.
It's the same with every OCS game, right? So like with the last Blitzkrieg, it takes it must be every bit of 4 hours to get through that first turn, especially like then alone, right? Just trying to min-max your way through movement and getting supply and stuff. My wife's back. Let me just go check in. I'll be right back.
Okay. So we're starting in February of 1943 here. So for those wondering, this is the Kasserine campaign, which is the whole campaign, but it's got the front end where not much is happening, kind of shaved off.
All right, I'm back. No one died, so we're good.
And that's good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Zoom out so we can see where you're at. I just realized that I'm in charge of the screen and people are looking at probably what you moved 5 minutes ago. I should have.
No, it's all good.
Oh, here we go. It looks like you're advancing up the pass here. Very nice. All right. Look at all those bad boys. I'm in a lot of trouble there.
I've got some issues with supply in a couple of cases, though.
Good.
So
I'm here for you.
We're going to rethink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we put that here. Now I'm going to be using truck movement here. Now let's do it this way. I'm using truck movement to move through this Zoc, but I'm putting a unit there and he's staying. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Something tells me these guys aren't getting out alive, and I've got to. Hopefully, those airplanes will be able to bounce out of there.
Well, there's not. Well, the airplanes usually can fly off, but there's a Italian formation in there that's in kind of in trouble.
Yeah, you think? Hardwolf, the understated master of OCS.
Well, okay, so
the master of understatement has that.
On this master of OCS nuts.
Well, I'm just because when all my units are gone after 2 turns, I want everyone to know who knows what they're doing and who doesn't. All right. Yeah, as John Longshore says, Americans don't need no stinking supply. And someone was asking when this scenario was. It's 15th of February, 1943.
Yep.
Running here. So before Sicily and Normandy, etc. But after Rommel has kicked some butt at LMN. All right.
I don't feel. What I almost did was you've got this these Italian units out in kind of the middle of nothing here, and they're not garbage, but I did not feel comfortable trying to overrun them with first armored in move mode.
Right. You're talking about the Super GA guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because first armored at this point has ARs of 2.
Yeah, it's pretty dicey chance there, isn't it? And here's me with 3 spare reserve markers. And all right.
And I'm forced to pay by the token in some of these cases too.
Right, it's not like DAC where everyone pays by the token. Formations can do formation activation and supply, but just not. But some of the others are discrete. So, like HQs can't activate everybody, pay for everybody.
Well, so I've got American units that can't be reached by an American HQ.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That said, I'm almost done with the Americans.
That's cool.
What's my rail cap again? My rail cap is currently 3.
Hey, Scott, good to see you here, man. Now, you're just building up a little freight train there, aren't you? Look at you. A little conga line.
We're working on it. Very disorganized so far. Oh, that's full. Cool.
What is that terrain?
All right, we are done with. Oh, we're not. Hold on. Just about to say I'm done with the French.
Okay.
I'm working on the Americans.
Hey, Tony. Let's see.
Which are going to take it easy. All right, Americans are done. So up here on the coast, there's really not a lot of opportunities for maneuver by the British. Because this is some pretty terrible terrain. Desert Air Force guys are these guys with the blue stripes, right?
Excuse me?
Desert Air Force guys are these guys with the blue stripes, right?
I think so. I'll have to check if you want me to check. Later.
Yes. No, they are. They are.
Okay.
We're going to try a hip shoot.
Yeah. Love me a hip shoot. Where are we at?
We're going for hex number 4423. So we'll go ahead and roll a flak.
Okay. 11.
Yeah, but that's 3d6.
Yeah, well, the fourth one is the loss.
Oh, okay. Well, it is a loss, so he gets reduced then.
Yeah.
All right. So let me roll the barrage. 9. That might actually be something. Let's look at it.
9 on a 4.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 factors.
So it drops down 1. Yeah.
At least. It's gonna drop 1 for the hog.
Yeah, you got nothing.
Nope, missed by 1. All right. Well, he's flown. It was really the only I guess I could try it one more time with this hurricane. Go ahead and give me another flak roll. Same hex.
9. Don't think that's going to...
9 will not do it.
That won't do it. So now we're 6 minus 1, right?
Yep. 5. That's nothing.
Nothing. Everyone ducked. So someone was asking.
So the Desert Air Force can do hip shoots. We actually have one more plane we could, technically more than that, but
yep.
The chances of anybody else, I'm not going to be hip shooting you with 3 barrage factors. That's just dumb. So same hex.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me a flak roll.
Now they're American Desert Air Force. Okay.
Yes, they are considered Commonwealth for this purpose.
Whiff.
That's a big whiff. Okay, let's roll the barrage. That's a 7. I'm pretty sure only missed by 1, but I missed.
Missed. Yeah. Okay, Woody Woods is asking a question. Let me see here for you, Woody. I'll get you the answer to that. He has 4 reserve markers that are American and 3 that are
The reserve markers are not actually faction specific, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I don't have any reserve markers, but that I've used, but I'm still in the middle of moving too. I've literally moved 0 British so far.
Yeah. All right.
And like I said, you're pretty much blocking the passes. So I have to think about exactly what lousy avenue of attack I'm going to try to execute here. And because those guys in Massacult are in a hog, I can't get the armor bonus for overrunning them. Well, for attacking them.
Right.
So what that makes it sound like is I'm going to have to dig them out with infantry. Rough is 2 for leg.
Well, jump in your lorries and drive on down.
That's low. Wait a minute. It's low hills.
So low hills are just one, right? I don't see them on the.
No, they're just listed as hills on the TEC.
Oh, okay. Well,
There's no regular hills. There's just
Yeah, I
low
was just
hills,
gonna say,
and then it goes to rough.
Yeah. A little hard to tell. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell the units apart, just with the shades of brown, and then all the brown.
Yeah.
All
I made this call to make the Germans tan. I'm not sure I remember which game it was. Might have been, I think Sicily, the first Sicily, where it's virtually impossible to tell the British from the Canadians.
Right.
They're different.
Hey, Three Dog and Woody Woods. That's pretty funny. He said, "You have to ask yourself, what would Patton do?"
Patton's not here yet. so minor rivers +3 for tracked, +5 for truck.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty terrain, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Where are you at right now? Actually,
I'm at with British 6th Armored.
So I can point it out to the guys watching. I'll zoom in a little bit. There we go.
All right, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Nine. All right, that's got to stay. That's done.
Yeah, hey Chris, it's 1943, February. We're looking at the Kasserine campaign in North Africa. Although it, because of the way the scenario is set up, it kind of skips the big German lunge at the start. I guess through playtesting, they found it was a little too advantageous for the Germans or something. Bring the big guns, here they come. One of the things I found about playing this solo was, given how close the terrain was up in this part of the map, it was really hard to play that mind game of second guessing yourself, you know?
Yes.
You couldn't really get very far anyway every turn, so it was really pretty obvious where folks were going to try and go if they were going to go somewhere. So a lot of I found myself outsmarting myself every turn, which was kind of stupid. So
that's another thing with reluctant enemies as well. That because there's really only 3 different ways you can go.
Yeah. There's three routes of march, and that's it.
Yeah. It's impossible to not telegraph that, right?
Right.
So, all right. So let's see if we actually have some more stuff we can try to do hip shoots with. I don't think we do. No, we don't. That's unfortunate. But it is what it is. So with that in mind, I think we're going to stay right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did those guys?
They actually started in Asia.
So and they're all armor anyway.
They're not moving very far. They're fueled off the HQ in Souk El Arba.
No, that's cool. I'm not worried about where they came from. I'm just
It's just actually no. One of them would have had to stay behind in that hex.
Oh, there's a truck, right?
Because one's truck. But that's fine. The point was actually to get adjacent to your reserve guys in Matur, so I could, in principle, hip shoot them. But the British capability, actual real on the ground capability of hip shooting is pretty bad. So, all right. So I'm going to make a slight adjustment and put my incoming reinforcement in 115 to put him on the rail line.
Yeah, sure.
Because I've only used one rail so far, because that's all I have, and I can't go farther than Algeria. So we'll just rail him down here. He will flip to move. There's an amazingly strong chance I'm going to forget about this guy.
Patchwork pictures. I'll zoom in once we start doing combat and stuff. I'll zoom in a little bit. I'm just trying to let everybody see the majority of the board, and then once we get into the actual combat stuff, I've got a couple of tools here that we'll be using to run through the combats as well, so you got to see it on the screen. But anyway, so where are you at? Where are we?
Real close to done.
Okay.
Very close to done indeed. Let me just eyeball it all. I think we're good.
All right.
All right. So sorry that took so long, but first turn of an OCS game. It's
fine, man. You were faster than I would have been. I can tell you that much. That's great.
All right. So I have to do air barrages. Let's see what I have to work with. Those are inactive. That's all trash. Somewhere in here, there is like one airbase with stuff that is decent enough for me to do air barrages with somewhere. All right. You have some
What's that?
I'm going to have one air barrage.
Okay, where are we going to be?
That's a great question. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you already had a plan.
I do have a plan. I'm just trying to find out where the plan is.
That's funny.
Here it is. All right. This is in 4608. I've got a 13-point air barrage. It's 2 planes. Go ahead and give me a flak roll.
4608. Hang on a second. I was trying to find it so I can show it to everybody. Where? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. Flak. Ha.
That's a big negatory on the
guns didn't even turn on.
13 points. You are an RE and a half, so there's no shifts.
1.5 rees, right?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's a 10 with a kicker. So that is going to be a 1/2 bracketed those, and it's air, so it is not a step loss. You're just DG'd.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
You got the markers, great.
Yep.
Now, is that a right click or?
I pulled it out of the.
Okay, good. Cheers. Okay.
All right. That's all of my air, because I really don't have a lot of air to work with here. So that leads into supply fez. Nothing's a problem at the moment for either of us. Well, you've got one guy who could be in trouble, but you don't check right now.
Yep.
And then it's your reaction.
Right. So two stacks of guys that are in trouble, but
one of them's in a little more trouble than the other one.
Yeah. So let's see. I can use air to.
So
insert.
The only air reaction you can do are hip shoots. I think, and only the Germans can do that. So, but you can hip shoot. Is it worth your time to do that? I'm not 100% convinced that it is. One additional trick is if you have the artillery positioned, behind the line, not adjacent to enemy units, put the artillery in reserve, then the artillery can generally move at least 1 hex and barrage in reaction.
Right. Also, they could move and still barrage.
Yes.
I had not realized that was a capability. Now, I thought with reaction that with your air, you could, it could be a barrage because it's a barrage segment. So it's air units and ships.
Let me check that.
Let me just check the reaction phase. What am I looking for here?
That's a nicety that doesn't seem to come up very often for us in the East Front game.
Yeah. Reaction phase is rule 7. Movement, overruns, and barrages. The only ground units, blah, blah, blah. We can release. No phasing plays.
Okay. Yeah.
Active aircraft are all eligible.
So it just depends on the mission then. I'm too used to playing the Soviets is what it is, where they normally, in many of the games, don't get an air reaction.
Right. Right. So
and can't hip shoot, so it means they don't get an air reaction at all, pretty much.
Yeah. So I can do a regular. I can take a unit from Tunis. Let's see. I could take. Let's see if this will work.
I should have done fighter sweeps to try to knock your air down.
These guys will hit those dudes.
Where are we at?
Sorry, down in where you've got my pathetic Super GA chap surrounded. 30, 49, 11, 49, 10, or 9. Sorry, 49, 9.
Okay, gotcha. Which hex are you hitting?
This guy.
49, 9. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're hitting with 3 planes. So I will get a +1 on flak.
10.
Not enough.
Not enough. So what's your stack worth there? 1, 2.
That counts as 3 REs.
3 REs.
Because it's 1 formation.
Yeah,
so regardless of what it is, unless it's smaller, which is unusual, it's 3 REs. So there's no density.
No density. Okay, so straight up roll.
Straight up. Yep. Straight up on 18.
9.
That will DG him. It's a kicker, but it's a bracketed 1/2. So he's just DG'd.
All right. So these
because it's fair.
Now I'm going to return to base, but these guys are going to go back. The fighters will go back up to Tunis.
That's totally okay. You are not obligated to return them to the same base they flew out of.
Correctamundo. Now let's see if I can slow down this attack here from 6th Armored, which is very rude of you. Potentially up here. That looks kind of mean. Well, you would have done something else somewhere. Oh, down here. I don't think you're going to attack there. Let's see. What have I got left? Oh, so I need. How do we mark these inactive?
I put them under. Well,
yeah, they're in this box. I'm just
okay. Well, there should be a slot in the Tunis box for inactive planes.
It's not.
Normally, we put them under the airbase.
Yeah. Okay, so one more. Let's bring these two dudes down to here, down to the 6th Armored, 45, 18, I think it is.
Yep, I see it.
Yep.
So go ahead and roll. I'll roll flak, actually.
Flak, yeah.
Nope. Roll your barrage.
9, I think that's a 13 is going to do it.
9 on a 17 is totally a bracketed 1/2, so he's DG'd as well.
It's a 13, so it's a 12 to 16. Oh, unless you go up one because you're stacking, is that it?
No, it's all one formation. Did I miss? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, it's 13. You're right.
Yep.
So it's just DG'd.
Okay.
It was just DG'd anyway, so.
Yeah, that's good. Right.
Now, this time, I am going to be that guy who seems like he's got the tables memorized. And we normally make fun of that guy when we're playing face-to-face.
That's all right. Yeah, I do that too sometimes. Let's see.
I do not, for the record, have the tables memorized. That said, if you rolled a 5, we don't really have to check it, right?
Exactly. And the last show, 40, what can I pull on there? 3, 5. That's pretty weak.
Now, I'm going to point out that, and I don't know what you think is going to happen up there, but up in 4128, you have a 16-point artillery battalion under a reserve marker.
Yep.
And you're adjacent to me, and he's got a 3 range. So you could, it's cost supply, but which is, of course, a whole OCS thing that we could.
Yep.
+1 for range shift. Oh, no, he's right, actually. It is +1 in patrol range of. He's not in that patrol range, though, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
There's a +1 to the flak roll if you're in patrol range of an enemy fighter.
Right.
But you're out of it in both those cases.
And to keep it consistent, we didn't do that for my rolls, so we'll be okay this turn.
In fairness, I forgot to attack all your air. So normally what I should have done instead of barraging was fighter sweeping, and what would the desired result would be to knock your fighters down, and then knock down any tactical air as well.
Yep. That's totally legit tactic, and glad you forgot it.
Yeah.
So, I am going to place 1, 2, 3. Let's put 16. We'll use this guy, right? And pop him out of reserve. I'm not moving him, but just letting you see him. And where can I pull some supply from? And we're not using this, you do half barrage BS, are we? Or do you use those rules?
Is that an option?
No, it's I guess it's one of the optional rules in the 4.3 rules, where people don't want to spend all their T, so they.
I am happy to play with that in a Big East front game. I am just as happy to ignore supply catches here.
Yep. Perfect. Great.
Because this wasn't released with that. So, there's rules to retrofit that to the older games, but
I'm going to spend some T. Oops. I'm going to do this then. Let me see if I can clone this guy. I should have reduced it first. Never mind. Let's see my very control X. There you go. So, okay, after all that, we're rolling on the 16 table, but probably down 1 because of the terrain.
Where are we at?
Where's a little marker? This guy right here.
Yeah, that's going to be close. That's going to be close. So it's going to be. Let me check density though.
Down 1, right?
Down 1 for terrain, and he's going to be up 1 for density.
Okay.
Group counts as an RE as far as I'm aware, and so do brigades.
Flat 16. Here we go.
Plunk.
Plunk. All duds. Thanks for playing. Okay.
How I say, lads? Did you boys hear some noise? No.
Yes. Rather spanky. Let's see. Then I guess the other alternative. Whose unit is this? Whose unit is this? Yours?
That's yours as far as I'm aware.
Okay, that is mine. All right, good. Just checking.
Yeah.
Look, I don't really care. Let's move on. What else is there to try and...
I hope he's not mine. I didn't move him.
I just they're so close in color. I just
yeah. No, I'm pretty sure
they're not. They're very clearly different shades, but I just keep thinking of them as British.
Yeah, because we mentally associate this particular tan with the British.
Yeah. I don't think there's any value in. Well, so if you attacked with, you have a 4 there, that'd be a 2-1. That would be really crappy. But you've got a barrage you could do with 9. I'm going to release one of my armored units here, this guy, and fuel him for 1. Spend this last T here frivolously, and just move him to here. Think I can do that? Yep, it's rough terrain.
Yeah.
You can always move 1x. Right?
Oh, yep.
So that's that. And then down here, I can do...
Now, wait a minute. So that guy... Wait a second. Oh, I see. I see what you did. No problem.
Yep.
Okay.
We good?
Yep. It's all good. So that's rough. Yep. Okay. Yep. It's golden.
And... Wow.
Well, I'm certainly not going to attack that X now.
Now you're not, right? I'm just making sure you don't. And I think that's all. That's pretty much all I can do. So, I could release these guys. No. Carry on. You're good.
All right. That goes then to my combat phase. So first we're going to do barrage, and I need to figure out if I can actually supply this barrage or not. I might be able to. I can. Okay.
I think we got out of sequence on the should have moved my guy first and then barraged you.
That's technically accurate, and it can be a factor because you're doing it in an opposite order that you normally are.
Right.
You're doing it in the opposite order in the reaction phase than you do it in the combat phase. In this case, it doesn't matter, but and it's always nice to do it in the right order.
Right. Good. Yeah. Good point.
All right. So we're gonna throw a 36-point barrage on this unit in Massacult. That's 4423.
Okay.
36 points will cost me an SP. And I've rolled a 4, which, believe it or not,
Well, a DG probably.
It would be, but you're down 1 from the hog.
Oh, lucky me.
So, and I don't believe you're up 1 for density.
No, it's only
you are not. All right. Well, that's a big pile of balls.
That's so that was a barrage from this X here, guys. You can see the 24 and the 18 factor from the 78th Infantry. I say, chaps, I think we missed.
All right, we've already got DGs dropped over here, so that's sufficient. We're going to drop 18. Is that a range? No, it does not, actually. I do not have sufficient range on this artillery to hit your second stack, so I'll have to be satisfied with the one. That's fine. And then down here, nothing's happening down here. All right, so I have one barrage up here, assuming I can figure out where the supply is coming from. I should have trucked some supply over, actually, and I forgot that too. Well, you know, that's first turn blues.
There you go. Where are you looking for at trying to get supply to? From?
British 6th Armored.
Okay.
There's a full truck with them, but I don't want to burn that to barrage you. So,
right. You need that for the attack.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, so I don't have any actual barrages, so I believe I'm going to have at least 2 attacks.
Okay.
The first one we're going to do is down here in 4608. That's that cutoff guy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hit him with what? Okay. He's going to be at a 3.5.
.5 going in. Boy, that's my defense, right?
That's your defense.
Yep.
I may just be satisfied with cutting him off, to be honest. That's a lot of times that's sufficient, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to roll for the bad luck blues there anyway.
Well, you get to move first, and you can move 1 hex, but he's zocked in. That other stack in Kairouan is zocked in 2. Not all those hexes are throwing zocks, but all of the hexes that aren't throwing zocks are filled with units. So he's zocked in. He's got to get out of there. He cannot stay there, or you're gonna lose the whole formation.
Yeah.
And there's a halfway decent Italian tank unit in there too. All right, so I'm thinking I don't have any attacks, actually. I have to spend another turn, I think, positioning here. I made some forward progress, right? This position in the middle is not tenable for you right now. So I think I'm done. We would go to the exploit phase, but there's no exploit. Although if I had reserve stuff, which I didn't, then I could be moving my reserve stuff in exploit.
Yes.
And sometimes you'll get, if you really need that extra couple of hexes of movement, what you can do is in the move phase, you can put the unit in reserve, move it 1/4 of its movement, and you're always going to do this in move mode. And then in exploit, move him the rest of his movement.
Yes.
You can squeeze an extra couple of hexes out that way. And you can squeeze a couple extra MPs out that way. And if you're on a road, that could be 4 or 6 hexes, right? So
yeah, that can make a big difference. Yeah, for sure. All right. So that would mean cleanup phase, which means your DGs come off, but mine do not. Well, my one stays.
Now, yours does for now.
Yeah.
Had you not, you didn't disorganize 6th Armored, but I'm not happy with that attack right now. Without
I did disorganize it. I just pulled it.
Oh, you ranked it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even so, I wasn't happy with that attack unless you were DG'd as well.
Yeah. All right. let's go through this refit first up.
So the first thing you're going to do is roll for your replacements.
Okay. I thought that happened in the reinforcement phase.
It does, but we always do this stuff together. To be honest about it, in the larger OCS games, it's probably less necessary here. In the larger OCS games, we always do air refit in the movement phase because it's not critical as long as it happens in the movement phase.
Yep.
And you're going through the hexes one at a time, right? So,
right.
And if you have air and it's not on top because it needs to be refit, then you might not see it. So we are very comfortable with that.
6.
But bear in mind, Baltic Gap is a small game for us, right?
Right. I'm just looking at the chart here.
We were doing it in Korea, but how many North Korean air counters did we have?
Yeah,
I'll tell you, one. There were actually, I think, were 2, but yeah, we didn't have much to work with.
All right, so no replacements for me. Let's see. All right, so on to. I've got to work out movement, but we're going to move some supply in first up, I think.
So in this game, my recommendation, I guess it depends where the supply is going, because the supply cannot move then after you ship it or truck it or whatever it in. So my inclination would be to do supply last, but at the same time, you don't want to forget it. So forgetting your supply for the turn will screw the whole game up.
Right. Well, I'm thinking if I want to do any combat other than go low ammo with the Super GA. Oh, there's a truck there. Never mind. It's got 2T in it, so that might get us out of a pickle anyway, potentially. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I can work my way out of there. All right. So where to start? Let's have a look at this.
I did miss some fuel markers. Pulling those off. I never find that that's much of a problem either.
Yeah.
Because if you miss it, you're never going to fuel all your HQs, right? So.
Right. Okay, let's have a look up north and see what we can do to.
So the victory conditions are essentially Bizerte and Tunis.
Yep.
So those are hexes that you really wish to protect. It doesn't have to happen this turn. I would suggest building a hog in each of those.
Right.
You need, in this game, you need engineers to increase a hog to higher than level 1. But there are actual engineers on the map too, which is atypical for OCS games.
Right. I'm just going to clear the move markers as well. So
oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you're moving. I'm going to look at these surge rules because that's kind of the more or less unique mechanic to this game.
Sure. So,
Of course, Vassal has its own set of advantages for OCS play. One thing I like to do, particularly if I have chased my opponents from the room, is put those little colored blocks down to mark things like where the HQs are and where the trainable hexes are and where the extenders are and all that stuff, so that I can keep my supply net in mind as I'm moving my stuff. Whereas in Vassal, I can write that stuff down. Playing in person, that would bog the game down.
Yes, for sure. Let's see.
We've got a mix of different play speeds in our regular OCS group. We've got one guy who moves a bit slow. In OCS, if he's playing something with which he's less familiar, he moves really, really, really slow. And we've got another guy who is 100% pants off, just go, 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 go.
Really?
Yeah. So he's the guy that gets cut off and annihilated.
I could just imagine. Yeah. All right.
I will attack this city with a level 2 hog in it with this Soviet mech core. What? In move mode. What? What? He's going to watch this video and know who I'm talking about, too.
Oh, that's funny. I'm going to just refit my guys in Berserk. That's 1T, right?
Yes, 1T to refit up to the cap of the airbase, so which is 2 planes per level of the airbase.
Control X. And let's get these guys in Tunis done as well. I'm going to decrease and clone that guy. All right.
There's certainly a familiarity factor with any given OCS game. And it's really this is by scenario, not so much with the supply tempo too. With how much supply am I getting each turn? Not getting a ton of supply each turn.
Yep.
So You're getting more, at least for now, till I start bombing Tunis.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it doesn't matter what your C cap is if your port capacity is all 3T.
How do I empty this guy out? There we go. All right, so I'm fueling up these two tanks here. I'm just going to put fuel marker on top of the 2 tanks, and I'm going to move this 9 rated unit, artillery 1.
So you're fueling them by unit, by token?
Well, I only have 2T.
Okay.
So I'm only fueling the two armored units.
Okay. Well, the only point with that is that they don't stay fueled. So they're not. So say you get a. I'm trying to put together a verbal situation in which that would apply here, but they won't stay fueled like they would if you were fueling them as part of a formation or they were being fueled by a fueled HQ.
Right. So I think
I don't know that matters, but
yeah, I'm just looking here to see. Well, I guess here's the other alternative. I can do it this way. Leave up. Can I just kill that truck? I did.
You're in a pretty solid defensive position up here by Tunis. You've got all these passes and road hubs blocked or occupied.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that you have to be concerned about is in front of Tunis in particular, there's enough open terrain for me to run units in there if I punch a hole.
Right. Very true. Very true. Now, okay, so if I move the artillery to here, then I can throw in to with this headquarters, I could throw in and fuel. They use the headquarters. Everybody that will stay fueled for until the next movement phase, correct?
Until the cleanup phase.
Until the cleanup phase, correct?
Yeah. The only time it happens till the next movement phase is if you are fueling during the reserve phase.
Right.
The reaction phase.
Let me just take this off.
My reaction phase, I should say. Where are you at right now?
So I'm down where you're surrounding my guys.
Oh, okay, I see.
I'm just cloning some supply and splitting up stuff so I can. Yeah, hang on just 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Everyone's so funny tonight. Everyone's ha.
Yeah, so that's a problem. Where you put that unit in 4910, okay, that means that you can now throw into that hex. That's
correct.
That town hex, right?
Yeah.
But you still would need to leave somebody behind to move that truck out.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to noodle out here. So I can move the truck now. Right?
Yes. So then, I'll tell you. Oh, you saw it already. The first armored is all in move mode, so it's not throwing Zocs.
Yeah.
That AA or anti-tank unit, that 325, that is in combat mode. That is throwing Zocs.
Yeah. So I can go like this. I can go 1. Oops. Let me just clear that. Get the freaking unit. I can do this. I can go 1, 2 to there.
Yes. And then right back up the road.
Yeah. So
on the other hand, his 2 tokens don't do you a ton of good if you lose the rest of the formation.
Yeah, exactly. The question is where to go. It's kind of a cluster. So I think Oh my God, I hate this freaking game. I don't know why I even play OCS. It's so frustrating.
But there's an OCS approach, right? It's a puzzle. This is OCS. It's the puzzle of how to do all this stuff, and not have your shit fall apart.
Yeah. Well, my shit's falling apart. 1, 2. Let's see. Do I want to try? So the question is, do I really want to try and hold this port here, right? Which I don't know that I do, given the size of this formation coming down the road and the caliber of the units. I've got a better chance of bottling up around this hex up here, up around here, marginally speaking. So I think what we're going to do is shoot this dude up to here. I'm going to now, well, now I can pay 3T and I can fuel the artillery and the armor, right?
Yes.
And that should get me out of there. And that will go down.
Well, okay. You got to leave somebody behind to get the artillery out of there too. But you're already stuck.
So I just moved the artillery first, and then moved the armor out.
You got to keep the armor there.
But it's negation if the hex you're entering, not the hex you're leaving, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. This is like the fussiest piece of OCS right here.
Yeah. I'll let you check that.
There are a number of fussy pieces, but
yeah. Can you check that?
I am checking. I believe you're right, though. I believe it's the hex being entered.
Yeah. Well, okay. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at this thing here. So I'm moving the truck out. One way or the other, the truck is moving out. This is whatever it's called. Artillery is moving out. Move that sucker up to there. 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's the hex being entered if that hex is zocked.
Okay. And then I just wonder how much of it. Well,
and that salt marsh is 2 for leg.
Yeah, there's no point. I was just thinking about attacking my way out of here, but I don't.
Well, I mean, be my guest. Go.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm looking. It's not very attractive. Even if I DG'd you, it still would be.
Yeah, I mean, so it depends what you have to work with. In this case, you have Italians to work with, and while they're not bad as Italians go, you're not really going to get a good attack on it, and chances are pretty good that you'll take it in the shorts.
Yeah, so I'm going to pay 3T to move these guys. I'm only going to use, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess I'll have to flip them. So let me just pull these guys out. Put them in move mode. Back. So they get to there. And these knuckleheads will move up to here, like so. The air, I'm just going to transfer somewhere.
Fighters that rebase within half their range stay up too.
They stay up, don't they? So that's
Fighters.
It's pretty much anywhere. So we'll
probably, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Now the DG fellas, boy, are you in trouble.
They're hosed.
Yeah.
They can move 1 hex though.
Yeah. Well,
there's only 1 hex they can move 2 intelligently.
Well, the armor's got to have fuel to move, so he's staying where he is.
Yeah, he's hosed. Unless you would like to air drop supply tokens to him.
I don't think so, but thank you. All right. Bloody hell. Okay. That's a truck. It's one of those silly.
Sometimes a unit's value is not in being alive. Sometimes a unit's value is being in the other guy's way.
Yeah, really. Exactly. Guess I'm giving up this port. 1, 2, 3 to there. I'm going to fuel the HQ. Eat. This guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. This guy will move to here. Probably here. And I'm not going to destroy that supply yet, if that's okay. But I do want to destroy it, though. Or I have to do it with something in the hex. How does that work again?
Okay, where are you at?
So back down here in this that port.
That's Sousse.
If I want to destroy that dump, do I have to have a unit in the hex and then leave after I destroy
it? It happens in the movement phase, so you can torch it and then leave.
Torch it and leave. Okay, so let's just roll the dice and see what happens. So that 1d6, 6. I think that's 75% or something.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, thanks.
6 is 100%.
100%. All right. Yeah, you watch all. Oh.
Should have been 75 on a capture.
All right. Okay. Let me go have a quick look over here, up north here, because it's just freaking squirrely here. Put another unit in there. It's going to make it to. Yeah, let's do this. This guy we're going to reserve mode. And we'll hide him underneath everybody so you don't know that he's reserved. There we go. Look at me. I'm pro player now. Damn it, boys. All right. HQ, stupid donkey. And, okay, I think I'm good up north. So now I want to have a look at 10th Panzer and see if I can't do something for fun here. I don't know if you're tracking the commentary or not. I haven't been.
I'm sort of paying attention.
I haven't been looking, but going to get into this, and you forget that you've got folks watching. Let's see.
Kevin is actually right. Units with parenthesized strength, combat strength, are not attack capable, and therefore don't throw a Zoc. That's actually correct. I don't know that it mattered in this case, but
yeah, I still could have got the guys out. I guess you had this. Well, this guy here, the French guy, had a Zoc, so or they flipped as well.
No, the French guy, this 336 motorcycle guys, those Moroccans, that's in combat mode.
There you go. So they were in a Zoc, so that's all that matters. But I guess this hex here,
601st anti-tank, that does not throw a Zoc.
Good catch there, Kevin.
That is a good
Well,
catch.
that means this guy could actually get away. Technically.
Yes.
So I'm going to flip into move mode. I destroyed the dump, but I had a point there. If you're cool, I will move that guy.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
We'll stick him up there. All right.
I'm not actually seeing this. This is a friendly game, right?
Yeah.
So
we're doing this for the people.
Yeah, exactly. We are showing the Philistines the joys of OCS.
All right. I am going to try and do something fun with this stack of boys. Let's see. Now that I made a mess, so I'm going to move 1 to there or 2 to there. And we're going to try and hip shoot the 168 with something. Let's find some guys. Oh, do you have any, first of all? Where are your fighters? I don't think you're in range, right? No.
Well, there's actually a very fancy Allied Patrol Zones toggle button that you can turn on to see where the patrol zones are.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that on the screen or not, but I popped yours up. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I see. It's the entire thing. Look at that. Okay.
Yeah, because it's doing them from the off-map box, which shouldn't be happening, but whatever.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So I think I can bring in from Tunis with a fighter escort, and let's do 17 for shits and giggles.
All right, where are we at?
I'm bringing
I see it
from Tunis. I'm trying to come all the way down here. Supposed to put a little, I guess technically I'm not supposed to put a little red KTX or some bullshit like that. Isn't that what you guys do?
We don't use KTX markers, actually. We just have it all in our heads because we do it that much.
Because you're like that. All right, so I'm doing this hex.
We are literally those guys.
Those guys. All right. So if you want to roll for something.
All right, your 3 planes. All right, so it's +1.
Yeah. I don't know why.
No.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep bringing the extra plane. It's just a habit from playing when you potentially get intercepted and you're not sure, right? Anyway, so that gives me 18 factors going in, and you are in close.
Close. So it's down.
12,
It's just
15.
down 1. There's an RE.5 in there.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. All right. So 8. So that'll DG you.
Indeed, it will. I have a DG marker here.
Perfect. I'll pop these bad boys back up top. So that gets rid of your Zoc there. This is the only thing I don't like about Vassal, having to drag stuff around.
Yeah, but the particularly annoying thing is if you have like that off-map box for Algiers or wherever it is, which is all the way in the corner, and then so I got to like zoom out or sit there and drag it. Vassal modules typically don't have a hotkeys to zoom in and out, which is irritating to me.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm gonna put my air conditioner on. It's actually getting warm.
Oh, poor you.
I'm so nervous. Okay. Let's see. 7. So that would. So let's do this. 1. We're going to do this 1. What am I trying to do? I'm going to take these guys. Oh, that's an AT gun, right?
I want to check on StreamYard when you get.
What's that?
You might want to check on StreamYard when you get a chance.
Oh, did we lose that connection?
I think it flickered for just a second. I think we're still live. We're still live.
Oh, I see. We're
But it reverted to micro view on the map. So
put that back up. No one needs to see our ugly bugs.
So the Italians are that kind of, to answer John, the Germans are tan. The Italians are that sort of teal. The light blue, I don't know if there's really a light blue on. Well, there is light blue. Light blue is Luftwaffe.
All right. Let me just fuel
Hilarious story. So I scoured a copy of GB2 up, and I'm going through it. I'm just eyeballing it because I know who I bought it from. I'm like, okay, you say it's complete, I'll say it's complete. I'm looking through it. I can't find the Estonians. There's like 3 Estonian counters. And I'm like, where are these guys? Everything else is here. I'm going through counter sheets and checking them. I checked like 3 counter sheets. I'm like, everything's here. Where are these friggin' Estonians? It turns out the Estonians are to my eye, and I'm not colorblind, the exact same color as the Soviet guards.
Oh, no.
We're buried in with the guards. So the agony is real.
6. So I'm going to just because we have to have a combat. So
sure.
Otherwise, it just wouldn't be fun. 1. Let me see if we can do this.
That's going to be a good. That's a good place to hit.
Well, I was actually going to go up the road. So let me show you what I want to do, and then we'll see if we think it's a wise choice. It's probably not, but we're going to have some fun anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 to there for the overrun. What do you got? So that's where it's dumb, right? Because I haven't DG'd you yet.
Yes. So you can go adjacent to me and then try to hip shoot it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense unless you're. I think even with the massive AR difference, I don't think it makes much sense to do it without DGing that unit. The trouble is once you're there, you're committed to that, where you can be adjacent to that DG unit. There's actually 2 units DG'd in there. Yeah. They're 4.5 strength DG'd, but their AR is down to 1. You'd be attacking with a 5. Plus 4 AR is huge on surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that turns into nothing, but.
Yeah. Well, so if I did that, I think I'd be better off staying in combat mode.
Yes.
And doing it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and go 1, 2. We might as well attack from here and get you in multiple Zocs, just in case we don't have any success.
Okay, and it's all tracked, so that's not a problem. You couldn't overrun into that hex with truck movement points, but you're all tracked.
Oh, that's right. So I could actually overrun these guys, right? Do it this way.
You can.
I thought rough was 5.
It's close. You can't. No, you can do it. Rough is 5 for truck. It's 3 for track.
Oh,
if it costs 3 or less, it's fine.
Yeah. But I would be halved, but I think that would be okay. So what the hell? Let's do this. So I might as well take this freaking guy with me, but he's going to go 1. Yeah, that'll be 4 going in. So 4 movement points to here.
Okay. So you're hitting in with
except for the artillery, of course.
Well, we're just not counting him. So you got 8, 15, 19 to 4.5, which is 4 to 1.
1 sec. Hang on 1 sec. Let me just get my little app for fun, so people can follow along. Okay. All right. So I have 19 factors, right?
You have 19 factors to 4.5, which it should be 4 to 1.
4.5.
But you're at a plus 4 AR.
5. Your AR is 1, right?
Adjusted 1, yeah. And it's in 4. So it's 4. It starts at a 4 to 1 in close.
And it's in close terrain.
And it's an overrun, so it's a surprise on a 9 or more.
So here we can see that I have a. You can see the odds here that I have a 1.3. I have a 1.4% chance of taking a loss, and you have a 96% chance of taking a loss. you see that on the? You probably
are you looking at the app?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 4-1.
Oh,
I know
isn't this fancy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't play with this.
No, I only do it when I'm on Vassal. Otherwise I don't, unless I'm writing it up or something like that. All right, so
I think it's a good attack.
Yeah. I think it's a good attack too. So we'll pay. Let's just check because I'm going to be all out of money. All out of SP. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll be
14.
That'll be the other 4T. So we'll do that. Delete. Going in. So 2D. So surprise. I'm going to roll surprise. 9. So I get it.
9. It's surprise. It's 3 shifts up. That's going to put you on the 10-to-1 column, 10-to-1 close column. So go ahead and roll the combat roll.
+4.
Right. It's +4 to whatever you get.
2.
Ooh. 6. That's an A01, DL101.
Yep. All right.
All right. So you have to decide whether you're going to take the option or bounce off of it.
Yeah, and what was your result? DL101.
DL101. So if you take the loss, I will take a loss because I got a DL1, but I don't have to take the option.
Right. And if I retreat, then you don't have to.
Well, I still take the 1 loss if you retreat.
Yeah. I'm not really prepared to lose chapters.
Oh no, I'd say you bounce, let it bounce because you just killed something.
Well, yeah, whichever one, right?
Yeah, these are both single steps, so they're both.
And they're both the same AR, so.
Yeah, it's not like exactly. So I mean, you've got a fair number with the Germans of AR5 units. They're not all AR5s, but a good chunk of them are. And you don't want to lose those. You want to be real cautious with those. But if there's anybody in OCS that can lose AR5 units, it's the Germans.
Yes. Right.
In contrast, in Beyond the Rhine, which is the game with the largest number of allied pieces, Western allied pieces, there are, I think, 3 allied counters with AR5s. There's 2 American Rangers and Frost's boys in the British 1st Airborne. The only AR5s. Even though you'll never use them for that.
Yeah.
At some point, I should probably have a Let's Rant About Beyond the Rhine video.
Yeah, it has a bag full of frustrations in it.
So Roland, the designer, something like 9 months or 12 months ago or something like that, put up some suggested corrections, which I think will help. Part of the problem is that it's, I don't want to say totally impossible, but all the balls have to fall for the Allies to have anything resembling a historic opening to that. Because really the Antwerp's supposed to fall historically on the 2nd turn.
Yeah,
and it's extremely difficult to make that happen.
I've only done that once as the Germans, and that was because I screwed up a landing. I think I moved too many guys into transported too many guys in on an airstrip or something. That's the Germans.
So, and of course, like on turn 4, you'd be launching Operation Market Garden, but there's no motivation to do that. There's no reason to do that. It does not incentivize anything like that at all, unless you just want to throw airborne units away, which I would not advise.
Yeah, well, I don't think I can do anything else with this stack. That's there because they're not.
They're done if they've bounced. They're done.
Yeah, these other guys. So let's have a look at my Italians down here real quick.
Let's pretend we've made the obligatory campaign for North Africa jokes already.
Yeah. I guess I could use 21st Panzer. I forgot that these guys are here. Let's see what they can do. This is a big stack of guys you've got here. This First Army guys adjacent there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think what we want to do is fuel 1st Panzer. Sorry, 21st Panzer. Using the DAC HQ, so everyone's fueled. Flip that guy somehow.
Well, that won't fuel the formation.
With the DAC HQ?
Fueling the HQ only fuels independence.
No. I'm saying I'm spending 1 SP. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm throwing 1 SP to the formation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then that's cool.
Sorry, bad language, bad words. I'm trying to find the fuel button. Where?
There's hotkeys for a lot of this stuff. Some of the OCS modules also do have the fog of war stuff built in. This one does not, for whatever.
There it is. It's movement. Okay.
There's a huge context menu when you right click on stuff.
Yeah. It's just clicking the move mode button on the formation counter to make it become fuel. This is just not common sense to me, but that's okay. It's not a smart time.
I see this whole thing as preparation for our future 8-player Case Blue game.
Yeah. Well, let me see.
Everybody start saving up your vacation days. This will move faster on subsequent turns.
Yeah, I know. I'm just. I'm also.
That was not a complaint, by the way. That you are doing totally fine. You may want to consider doing some fighter sweeping as well, but it's a little less valuable for you than it is for me, because I have very little that's planes worth barraging with.
Right. Okay, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Ooh.
11, 12 to there, 12 to there, and that's going to be 12. That will be 15 here. And I'm going to do a fighter sweep of this guy against that guy. Just to your left in the lette or something like that. So do we both roll, or I just roll, right?
You just roll.
Okay. 2d6.
Yeah, it's +1. You're +1.
+1. So I got the 8. So I win that.
So I'm down. No loss.
Yeah. No loss. That's right. And this guy goes back. And he's still up as well, right?
Yes.
No,
he's not. If he's defending against a fighter sweep and doesn't go down, then he stays up. But that guy that flew the fighter sweep goes down.
Okay. So now we will do a quick jump here.
All right. So I'll roll flak on that.
Yep.
10, and it's not up, right? It's do airstrips add to flak?
No.
That's a good question.
Don't you dare.
I have no idea.
No. I'm not sure what word he's talking about. He's saying
they don't. It's 15.2 F.
Okay.
They do not add to flak, so that is no flak hit. So go ahead and roll the barrage.
Okay.
You're throwing 17.
11.
17 down. Is it down? Probably no.
Yeah, it's probably, if it is, you're in the open there, so it's either way. I roll 11, so it's a DG.
So it's definitely a DG. It's a question of whether it's roll your kicker on that.
Oh, okay.
Down. That's a step loss.
Huh. Lucky me. Yeah, Woody is saying something about should be attacking somewhere, but he didn't mention where to attack, so I'm not sure what he's talking about. So anyway, so you are now. So we lost one. Okay, so that goes back to the. Yeah,
I'm not sure where he's talking about.
Yeah, I wasn't following along. I'm trying to concentrate too. So, anyway, now I'm going to bring these Panzers up, and you get a DG marker.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
I got you. And that's 1, 2, 3.
I had DGs off map in the Allied setup, which I'm using as counter holding area, and right. I dragged without looking. I put a field marker on top instead.
11. That's 14 into that hex. But before I do that, I've got to be a little smarter. I've got to.
So you are not doubled your time and a half on that.
Yeah, because you're an AT gun. But hang on a second. I've got to. Before I move those guys, I'm going to put them back. This is where you got to get it in order. I'm going to load a truck and decrease. Let's just pretend this truck is full. I just pulled a. Let me clone this guy here. Let's go to an SP unit. Now these guys go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to there, 9, 10 to there, 11, and we are going to use the overrun into there, which will be 14. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep.
No, it'll be. Wait, who's attacking? Just these two?
Just these two. Yep.
So that's going to be 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I say it, I was counting.
14 movement points. Gotcha.
Okay, so I am. You're halving my armor, correct?
I am. You get an extra 50%.
Yes, not a doubling. So
not a double. That's correct.
So I have 10.
You got 6.
No, I got 3. I got 3.5. So I got 3 plus half is 4.5, right?
Right.
And then 4.5 again. That's 9. I have 9 factors.
Oh, we never do it that way.
Well, you've got to keep the fractions on all the units.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
It may not make a difference. I don't know if it does.
Well, it's 9 to 1.5.
Okay. You're 1.5?
Yes.
Okay. And I in the open?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what that looks like, guys. Now, all right. So 2 surprise, right? Surprise.
Yes.
With a 2 versus a 5, so plus 3. I got 7, 10. So that's going to be surprise with 6 shifts. Damn.
supplies. Okay, so that's 6-1 in the open. That's shifting all the way to the top. So just roll the combat die.
Okay.
7 up 3 is a 10. AE2, which is really good. DL2. Okay, so this guy's toast.
Yeah.
Was this where that airplane was?
Yeah. No, your airplane was over there.
Okay, so this guy's toast.
Yeah.
All right, you want to roll to capture the dump. So roll a d6.
Okay. 5.
Dump on the ground. You rolled a 5, you'll capture half of it. So there's your 1 T.
Oh, lucky me.
Hey, every T is precious.
Yeah. So they move into there, and that's 14.
The bigger problem is the supply issues that this potentially creates, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
For say some of those first armored guys. So I'm going to have to figure out some way to deal with that. I got options, but I got to figure it out.
You got options. I'm going to move the rest of these guys. So move up to here. The HQ will fuel. Well, I guess he would have been fueled with the when I spent the one SP, and we will move him up to here. Well, I still have. I'm sorry. I still have 2 movement points left. 14, so I can go 2, 1.5 to there.
You did spend the supply for the combat too, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Actually,
pull it out of this guy right here. 2 T.
Okay, so actually, thinking this through, I actually would have burned one of those T's for my defense in the combat, which left 1 T, but 50% will round up to 1 T, so it's direct on the map.
Yeah, so I got this a little bit out of order. So technically, all this crap would finish this movement. Put all this back here. I would finish this movement here. Trying to get this in the right order is a pain in the ass. Okay, and I guess we can just take that off there for now. And then I can move this guy back to here as well. Now I can move these fellas up to here somewhere. But where is the question? Maybe on this road. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can all make it there. And I will shuttle up. No, that's not a spot. It is a spot. Don't worry about that for now. I will fuel this AT gun. Hold instant. And I'll spend 1 T out of that stack here. Clone. Decrease. And he will go.
That was a nice little counterattack.
Thank you. 10, 11.
Now I will be at least along that axis. The Americans will be on the back foot.
And now I can go partial. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's going to spend a T, and I'll take that here. From this guy. truck up. Well, and actually, I'm not going to do that. Let's move it up one. Shoot. All right. Man, this is taking a while. Sorry, guys. So let's see.
It's OCS. They're getting what they paid for.
Yeah, really. I guess. Where is the stuff here? Now we got these Italians here. I'm gonna bust the cap on these guys here. Ooh, I guess I'm not supposed to look at that. Sorry. I'm looking at 5 rated unit hidden in there. So.
Yeah, so that was it's fine, but I did put that unit on the bottom for a reason.
Yeah. It just popped up. I was just moving the mouse, so my bad. None of those guys can move their old crap here. Damn.
Let me see if I would imagine, I'm just going to verify this. It's my belief that Germans and Italians can pull from the same HQs, but I'll check that. Yeah, they can. I would be stunned were that not the case, but in this particular campaign.
All right. I think I'm done. I guess I probably should move these guys. Do I have any supply left at all? I do. Well, I'm going to fuel up the. Well, I'm going to wait.
So, you might want to verify trace.
Oh, sure.
On those 21st Panzer guys, because that.
Because I moved the HQ.
Not only that, but there's guys in combat mode throwing Zoc into that road.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where your HQ is, so it's plausible. It's not a problem, but if you're tracing along that road, it's a problem.
Yeah. I would probably.
And now is when you'd be checking that too. So.
All right. So I think I may go a little ahead of myself then. So probably what I would need to do now, if we trace along the roads, not the trails, right?
You could trace along the trails. It just costs more movement.
No, I mean, okay. So it's not like DAC then. Where's the? I've got to get back to a main road, then back to a port.
You are not obligated to do that. As long as you're fundamentally tracing to a supply source or to a detrainable hex, possibly through an HQ, and maybe the HQ is tracing through an extender, but there's no extenders in this game.
Okay. Well,
where the hell did this guy come from?
Which guy? What?
There's a guy in 4928 or 28, an American anti-tank unit.
Oh, that's your dead guy, I think.
I think so. I thought I clicked to send him to the dead. Let me check that. I thought I clicked on the dead pile. I'll just verify that. I'm pretty sure he's dead. I'll just put him there manually.
Okay, I think so. I may need to move my HQ if that's cool.
So that's well, you could do it now. That's that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So we're still in movement. As long if you put a unit in 4033, 4034, where that DG marker currently is, if you put a unit there, you can trace through it, and you might not be in a problem situation if you do.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know where your HQ is.
Yeah, well, let's say my HQ is here, right? So what?
Oh, so where's he tracing to then?
Well, so that's the thing, right? So he started here. He started here, just right of the word Tunisia. So if I move him,
you got to get him up to that other road. Then,
yeah,
you pretty much have to move him up to Triaga.
Triaga.
Yeah, that's in 5133.
Right. But don't we need to throw? I mean, I can be here and throw, right? I can throw forward from there.
Yeah, but you can only so are you saying what's his?
So it's 5 movement points back.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, but you can't trace back to
3, 4.
No, you could trace back to Triaga. Actually, that's absolutely right.
So I could actually be right here, even, for instance.
You could.
Not that I would want to do that, I think. But.
You could be in that hex with the DG marker, actually. I don't know that you should put him there alone, but...
Yeah. Well, you have a unit there still, right?
I don't have a unit in that hex any... no, I do still have a unit in there. Never mind.
Yeah, remember you...
I lost the one.
Yeah, you got... yeah, okay. So, all right. So that would... So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That puts everybody in trace, throwing forward from the HQ.
Yeah,
so
you're golden right there.
Yeah. Okay. So I probably need to sort all these units down in the south, but I think for the time being, I'll wing it down there.
Are you talking the Meredith line guys?
Yeah, because I kind of just plopped them all in there, but I think that's fine for the moment.
For now, it's okay, but 8th Army could come in. Yeah. Probably the smart move is to pull one or two of those formations behind the line, put reserve markers on them, and spread the rest of the Italians out. Presumably, the reserve unit would be was that 90th Infantry or 90th Panzer Grenadier light. So keep that light division in reserve,
right,
and spread the Italians out. These particular Italians aren't too bad, actually.
Right. So I can move all these guys and spend 1 T and just pull them back.
Yeah. Now putting them behind the mountains is not a bad. That 164th light, that's not a bad unit to keep right where it is behind the mountains. Yeah. That means that when 8th Army does come in, I have to guard that flank.
Right.
And also that 50-10 rough hex probably wants to be defended too. Is that? Oh, and that's a 2 hog too. Ugh. That's gonna be gross.
All right, let's 50-10. Let me just have a quick look at that. Oh yeah, right. Okay, so we can spread the love around a little bit here by doing this. And
you want to also spread the ARs around.
Yeah. That's one of the things I'm looking at there too. So that's a 4 there. That's a 3. That's a 4.
So units in reserve, assuming you fuel them, can move 1/4 movement too. So
right.
If you want to keep reserve on that one light division, or move the artillery underneath the light division, and then it goes into reserve. Although you can only move 1 hex and be in reserve.
Yeah, so I moved. So I put them all in reserve and paid 1 T to fuel the armor and moved everybody 1 hex.
Okay.
I'm going to pull this artillery out of here.
It's times like this where I wish I had a 3rd monitor.
Yeah, really. It's
So Findle70 is talking about Beyond the Rhine. Isn't that a case where an operational game can't really reflect strategic or political motivation, or did they just try to make too big a game? I'm not sure that's it. It may be as simple as OCS is just not properly tuned for the topic, regardless of the size. I'm not sure that's true, but I definitely think that Beyond the Rhine is a little bit mistuned. So, which is not to say I don't like Beyond the Rhine. I have had a good time playing it 3 times, but it's definitely it's very, very delicate on the part of the Allies. Germans are much more forgiving, except ironically right at the beginning, where if the Germans make a mistake and forget to garrison a particular hex, of which there are several, then that's a giant problem for the Germans.
It's not a giant problem. It's a shit show.
Well, so the Allies are kind of hosed if they don't take Antwerp relatively early. Now, historically, they took it on, I think the game starts on September 1st. Historically, they took it on September 5th. Unless the German player completely shits the bed, I don't believe that the Allies can actually take it on the second turn. It's not mathematically impossible, but right. It's unless the German player doesn't know what he's doing at all. It's really, really, really unlikely.
No, I can't. They only have 2 movement points. Okay. All right. That's that guy. These guys, I have no idea what to do with this little section just above all of this here.
Let's
all of this.
Quick look at it.
All of this. I feel like I want to pull the 15th Panzer out of there, whatever that is, whatever formation that is. Yeah, 15th Panzer out of there and do something useful with them. But it's kind of, well.
Oh, we're in different places again.
What's that?
We're in different places again. Well, it's a little bit up to you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good place for 15th Panzer to be, and maybe it's not.
Yeah. Well, let's at least make you keep your supply line open. Let's put that guy there. And let's do, I think that's it. Okay, I think, unless I have a place to put a reserve marker somewhere, I think I'm done.
Okay, well, you have a huge number of reserve markers.
Yeah, just drag this guy up to here somewhere. Okay, so if we check supply, oh, I see we stopped. Oh no, that's you. That's okay.
You're cool with me being out of supply.
Yeah. So I think I'm done with supply, and then I don't believe I do. All I have to do is move 1 unit in my exploitation phase, which is this one reserve guy.
Okay.
And then I think I'm done. So there's no combat. I'm not attacking anything else. Yeah, I think what that chap was saying was to attack this stack in, where I just tried to do that, where you've got that DG unit, this guy here. See this on 4002.
You did attack that.
Yeah, but he's saying that attack the stack below, and I think that looks like
that's a really. I mean,
that I don't think I had the firepower to mess with that anyway. So that's what I'm thinking.
So just looking at it, it's in the open, so that's a problem. But you're only time and a half because there's armor in the hex. If it was halved, it would be having to 17, 8.5. And you'd be up, if it's DG'd, you'd be up 3 AR, which is still a pretty good attack. If you can pull about 2 or 3 to 1 on that, bearing in mind that your armor would be time and a half, that's not a bad attack. I'd want 3 to 1 base on it though.
Yeah, I would have had
And the DG.
5. I would have had 3 plus 1. That's 3. That's 4.5, and 4.5 would be 8. Would be 9. I only would have had 9, maybe 10, or 11 factors attacking. I would have to have.
You'd have had to probably throw in all the 10th Panzer at it, I would think.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think I'm happy with what. Well, I'm happy for you with what you did. You got an entire Allied unit killed at no cost to you other than 3 tokens.
Right.
And you got to be cognizant of supply as well.
Sure.
Because the time will come when those ports that you're shipping supply into get the shit bombed out of them.
Yes, and that will be ugly. Yes. And I think, so I think this is just good learning exercise anyway. So we're
sure.
Yeah, having a bit of fun. So that would, if I look at my little sequence of play cheat sheet, combat, exploit, clean up. So I get to take off 2 DG markers, that guy.
Yeah, Fendel mentions that the Allies took Antwerp on September 5th, but it took until November to clear the Scheldt, which is absolutely correct. But it is going to take until November to clear the Scheldt and beyond the Rhine. And if you don't have Antwerp by then you are then a month behind, or a month and a half, or whatever.
Yeah. And when I was talking earlier on, I was thinking about the last Blitzkrieg, but you're right.
Which I have not played. Maybe someday.
Yeah.
But my BCS guy hates the Bulge, so.
Yeah. All right. Oh no! And there I'm doing it again. That's the wrong game. I'm thinking of OCS. What is that called?
Beyond the Rhine.
No, not Beyond the Rhine. What's the one before that? TBL, the Blitzkrieg Legend.
Yeah. Which I haven't played, actually.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool, but that takes hours and hours to come through the Ardennes, and if you mess that thing up, that takes a long time.
Well, that's one thing is you can't be afraid to say, okay, the game's over. We're going to start over.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you don't crack the Sudan and all that stuff there. So, anyway. All right. I think we have pounded the daylights out of OCS for what, 3 hours now?
About 3, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's not bad.
No. Like I said, the first turn's going to take like at least 2 to 3 times as long as a normal turn will.
Yeah.
So as you learn what you have to work with, where the supply routes are, all that stuff, where you got to get supply into. So that this took 3 hours is totally unsurprising to me. I did not have a strong first turn, by the way.
What's that?
I did not have a strong first turn.
Yeah, your rolls for the hip shots were disappointing.
They're not good hip shooting planes either.
Yeah.
The problem was that there's some supply that I should have moved that I forgot to move, and I forgot to do fighter sweeps. Those were the things I forgot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, next time if you forget something and we're in the middle of stuff, I'm totally cool with your, moving things. It's not.
It was thanks, but it was, and we play. I mean, we play pretty loosey goosey too. We're not, back here. We're not playing super competitive, high octane OCS either. Right. Friendly games, and as long as at a certain point you've moved past it, you can't really roll it back. But
yeah, exactly. It comes a point where it's like, no, that's we're beyond that. Yep. All right, man. Well, I think it was fun, and I appreciate you taking the time to get online with me and go at it from there. It was awesome.
We are going to have to do this again, hopefully sometime real soon.
Look forward to it, dude. All right. All the best, and thanks everybody else for tuning in.
See everybody.